Hey, this is Pete. Another episode of School Runnings. Sat here waiting for my kids. I am a small business owner and a dad to two kids. And every day at this time, I'm going to just riff for 10 minutes. I tell clients to produce content all the time. So trying to practice what I preach. So today had a bunch of calls, still not feeling 100%, but clients, I often will reschedule calls, but today there was some that have already been rescheduled. I think it's like you can't reschedule more than once. Or if you know there's a bunch of people on the call, as much as you want to, you really shouldn't reschedule. Remember when I first started the business, I wouldn't ever reschedule a call, and I would take them even if I was behind on projects and completely unprepared. And it would produce so much anxiety. I'd hate it. So it wasn't until I hired an operations person who was like, just reschedule it with an update over email. And the clients are fine. There's the main thing with client communications, I think, is just being completely transparent and no surprises. They only get upset if they feel like you're not delivering on a promise. So when I used to take the calls without any exception and then not have anything to show, that would annoy them. I'm really wasting their time there. So it's much better to email, hey, here's an update on the project. Going to spend more time on XYZ. Let's push this meeting till tomorrow or Wednesday, whatever it might be. And clients respond much better to that. So there's lots of little things like that you learn along the way. You don't really learn it in other places. Because like when you're working in-house, it's very different to working for yourself. When you work in a regular job, you always have a boss, right? You always have some kind of authority telling you what to do, where to be at a time and place, meetings added to your calendar. You got less flexibility. When you're running your own business, yes, you can over glamorize, like, I own my world. But the reality is, like, you have clients or customers and they're your boss. So in a lot of respects, you have less freedom because instead of managing one boss, you're managing a dozen. But yeah, I think it's important, especially in the world we're in at the moment, with so much change going on. If you're working full-time in-house, like a corporate job or just any job, I would very much be working on, I hate the term side hustle, but you need to have something that if the worst happens and you lose your job, you're not caught with your pants down. It's very easy for me to say, have a side hustle and do that to make sure that you have like a safety net. Because what I do for a living, creative and marketing, I was freelancing my entire career. Like even before I graduated university, I was freelancing. So that's like a natural, easy side hustle where I'm producing assets for clients evenings and weekends. It's a no-brainer. But if you're in a position that's maybe more strategic or less suited to freelance work, it's definitely difficult. I just know I've got a lot of friends who there's been a lot of layoffs and it takes a long time to get that next job. So whatever it might be, I don't have good answers for every single person out there, but you need to be thinking broader than your current job description. I think you need to be looking at the people above you and either side of you, and what can you learn outside of your current day-to-day to give you a better understanding of what the business needs or what the clients need or the customers need, separate to what your current job description is. And then who knows what that will lead to, but I promise you that you'll be in a much better position to adapt or change if you have a broader understanding of your role in the wider context of the company. So I think my number one piece of advice to people is no one knows what's going to happen. So education, self-guided education, don't pay for courses online. Very rarely would I ever recommend that. Read books. It's old school, but the thing about books versus articles or YouTube videos is there's been at least some level of editorial review. You can self-publish a book. I could self-publish a book, but in general, the process of even self-publishing a book has been much more thought involved than just publishing an article on a website. So highly recommend actually reading books. The AI digest of books, I think, is a waste of time because the act of reading, you're not going to remember anything. So even if you use AI to summarize a book and get the key takeaways and learnings, you won't remember it because if you haven't spent the hours, whatever, 2 to 6 hours, whatever it takes to read a book, you're actually thinking and using your brain, and there's so many times where I'm working on one thing and then an idea pops up from a completely irrelevant separate industry or separate client or separate topic. So having a richer foundation for your brain to work from is only going to serve you no matter what happens in the future. It's like, my girls are here, so speak tomorrow.